Meantime, a top South African diplomat said on Tuesday that U.S. demands on domestic affirmative action policies, that's the BEE stuff I was talking about a little earlier, are complicating efforts to secure a trade deal. Now, the remarks come ahead of the imposition of a 30% tariff on South African exports to the U.S., which will effectively take effect from Friday. South Africa has tried for months to persuade the American president's administration to lower the tariff rate or exempt key industries in order to avoid hundreds of thousands of potential job losses. But South Africa has struggled to make headway, even as other economies like Japan and the European Union have struck deals with the White House. Sandile Swana is a governance expert and a political analyst. Is joining us now live on the program from Muldersdrift in South Africa with a deeper look at exactly what's going on between these two economies. Mr. Swana, thank you for your time this evening. So let's start with a broad strokes here, right? What is the kind of deal that South Africa is looking for in talks with the Americans? We've seen reports of talks of a top tariff rate of 10% and some products being tariff exempt. Do we know anything else beyond that?
No, the details of the products that are going to be affected and the percentages which will be affected has not been disclosed. So some of the information we have are from the industry bodies as opposed to the government. As an example, citrus industry would want perhaps level tariffs on the basis that the season for citrus in the US versus South Africa is totally different. So there's no competition between these two industries. Instead, they are complementary to each other. And the auto industry has got its own complications because the owners of that industry are Europeans. It's not a South African industry. They operate from here. And that brings its own complications. So, but we do not have details of what is it exactly that South Africa is proposing. So we're stuck.
Indeed. So American trade policy right now seems to be in that, to put it bluntly, a bull in a china shop phase at the moment, right? Just trying to steamroll everyone that they're in talks with. So assuming that 30% tariff rate goes into effect next week, does the Trade Ministry have any plan to offer support to sectors that would be hardest hit, like, citrus, which you've spoken about, in the automotive sector?
The automotive sector especially already has got a number of support programs. So I would expect, although it has not been announced, that they would expand those support programs. The citrus does not. South African agriculture does not have those types of programs. So they would be happening for the first time if they were to be kicked in. But what we do know is that there is a concerted effort by the state to actually assist these sectors to locate new markets, and there is a certain degree of previous success in that regard. But obviously the volumes cannot be handled quickly in the short term.
Indeed. The South African Reserve Bank governor also pointed out that in their modeling, right, these tariffs could essentially trigger at least 100,000 job losses, most of those in agriculture and the automotive sector. Could you explain to our viewers why these two sectors are the most vulnerable? Yes,
the citrus, okay, first of all, in about the year 2000, which is about 24, 25 years now, when this AGOA thing came, our production capacities increased to cater for that and were successful. But that was based on zero tariff supplying into the US. So our citrus industry, which is based in the Eastern Cape, and our automotive sector largely based in the Eastern Cape. So the Western Cape and the Eastern Cape are the two provinces that invested heavily to cater for the increased demand into the US the past 25 years. So that is where the vulnerability came in, because it meant the concentration of supply, or the concentration of risk on the US. Now, to diversify away from that risk on short notice is becoming very difficult.
Indeed. We'll see how this all plays out in the next couple of days. Sandile Swana joining us there live on the program from Muldersdrift in South Africa. Thank you.